will talk to the Tomahawk Show people and make some kind of arrangement.
All right.
Right?
Either way, you need to take this more seriously than you're taking it right now.
I've been knee-deep in meetings the last couple days.
Particularly how mouthy you were about it.
Yeah, I mean,
you were the guy.
You've seen me. Anytime there's a game-winning shot, I'm just like, I got it, game winner. And
yeah, but so you will definitely. It's a
little fake confidence.
That's 100% your attitude, but more often than not, the ball that you release is nowhere near the hoop.
Oh yeah, that's just the percentages.
Right. So I'm going to need you to actually
10 dudes shooting threes. It's not going to go well.
I'm going to need you to actually take it seriously and to be better than you are.
All right. Training starts tomorrow.
Okay, sweet.
Training starts tomorrow. Well, all right. People aren't tuning in for our basketball yet. They will be once we get the game going.
And they're tuning in the wrong podcast, to be honest.
It's Divisional Round weekend. We love Divisional Round weekend. It is just a clean weekend of football games. You got the 4 teams that earned a bye, the 4 teams coming off wild card wins. It's one of the best weekends of the year.
A clean weekend of football.
Yeah. You're just gonna have good teams.
Huh.
You have all good teams the rest of the way.
All right. Okay. Sure.
This is why people think we don't like each other.
Because you talk crap.
It's a clean week of football, starting with the Minnesota Vikings at the San Francisco 49ers. I have to say, that's like old school to me. The 49ers hosting a playoff game, 4 o'clock window.
Yeah, it's like the 1987 all over again.
It's 1987 Vikings 49ers.
And the deep passing, I think, for Cousins is just as vital in this game as it was in the last one. We said going into that game that, look, they're underdogs. They were underdogs against the Saints. They're going to be underdogs against the Niners. They're going to be underdogs in every game they have to play this postseason. So for them to overcome that, like when those opportunities are there, he's going to need to connect on them. And he had Thielen in overtime against the Saints. No receiver in the NFL has more touchdowns on deep shots than Stephon Diggs this year. Like he's got 2 receivers that can both be extremely dangerous on those deep shots. Cousins needs to connect on those to overcome the fact that they're essentially the worst team.
I think the Niners with Garoppolo at quarterback, he has been good, not great this year, but I like the way the 49ers have just won every which way this year. They've won blowouts. They've won with the run game. They've won with defense. They have shown that they can win any given way. Now, I just don't know how much that matters because we're just into a whole bunch of one-game playoffs here, right? You're losing, you're out. But, their history, what they've gotten through this year to have that number 1 seed is really impressive. So what are you thinking in this one, man? First game kicking off the weekend, Minnesota at San Francisco. Where are you going with this one?
49ers.
Well, because you hate the Vikings, so it's not even.
I mean, they're a better team, and they don't have a giant hole at slot corner.
You're just going to take the favorites in every game, aren't you?
Not every game. Am I?
I'm going to take the home team in all of them.
I might.
Myself.
Looking at it.
Oh, did I just give that away? I'm taking the Niners. I think both NFC games are going to be, I think they might be the 2 best games of the weekend. Tennessee Titans at the Baltimore Ravens, Saturday night game. Lamar in primetime.
Yes.
This should be fun.
This is the game, much like last week when I couldn't see the way the Vikings could win it. I can't see how Tennessee wins this game.
Why?
Why? Because the Ravens can do everything the Patriots can do to them on defense, only they have an offense that's unstoppable.
So if Tennessee drops back a lot more this week, they'll have a chance to score points.
My point essentially is that Baltimore's coverage is basically as good as New England's. They can do as good a job against the pass they can. Their run defense is better than New England's. They will do a better job of stopping Derrick Henry. They will probably limit the Tennessee offense to the same kind of points total as they had last week.
No, because if
on the other side of the ball,
stop Derrick Henry, it's going to make Tennessee pass more, which ultimately will lead to more points.
Or more picks from Marcus Peters. Anyway, the other side of the ball, that means now that the Tennessee defense needs to stop the Baltimore offense, which basically nobody can stop. So how do they win?
I don't know. You were wrong last week when you said the team couldn't win.
I was. But you also agreed with me last week.
Because you're just looking at last week's game. If you look at this entire season, here's how they win. Ryan Tannehill was the highest graded quarterback when he played this year.
Okay.
Right? A.J. Brown was unstoppable this year.
Unstoppable.
This season. He was incredible this season. So the Tennessee passing attack is one of the best in the league this season. Last week they weren't.
They're now rolling in to play one of the best coverage units in the NFL.
No, I know that, but they win through the passing game. That's how they could do it. So since you can't envision any scenario that the Titans would win, famous last words from you.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're taking the Ravens in this one.
Yeah. It worked so well last week, so yeah.
I will also take the Ravens in this one. Sunday afternoon, Houston Texans at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Which kind of Deshaun Watson is going to show up? I honestly think he's the key to this game.
Yeah, it's the weekly question.
Because, again, this is one where the Chiefs are the better team. They have mismatches in several spots. So, if the Texans are going to win or keep it close, they're going to need Deshaun Watson to have the good games that he's capable of having, to not go, half of the game not playing well the way he did last week, but to actually be Superman for the entire time and try and outduel or at least go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, so this is one of those games when you look at Deshaun Watson, and he has played both of the top seeds, faced all 3 top seeds from the AFC. We saw him do really well against Kansas City, made a couple key plays down the stretch to essentially seal the deal. They pulled the upset against the Chiefs, right? He was horrendous against the Ravens, and he was great against the Patriots, against a defense that at the time was not really giving up a whole lot, and he did a really nice job, played a really clean game. And, it sounds simple, but a lot of it really does depend on what happens with Watson. I thought last week the Bills were the type of team that does a really nice job taking away the first read, make them hold on to the ball. The Chiefs, I don't know if they're able to do that as cleanly as a team like the Bills are. You expecting Kansas City's offense to get the best of Houston then, yeah?
Yeah, I think I am. I mean, this is one where I can at least see the ways the Texans win, but it doesn't feel like it's the more likely option. So, Chiefs win.
I'm taking the Chiefs as well. Green Bay Packers are hosting the Seattle Seahawks at 6:40.
Okay. I thought you were transitioning into something else. That was curious to me.
Oh, you're right.
That seemed like a strange transition.
Speaking of things we need to transition to, have we told you about Manscaped lately?
People, I think, still are under the impression, or still working on the basis, that Aaron Rodgers is the same guy from 2011. And, sooner or later, you're going to come back. We'll get 2011 Aaron Rodgers again. The playoffs, the perfect time for it to happen. 2011 Aaron Rodgers is about to break out in the playoffs, and that's when we'll see the greatness once more. Even, again, we did the 2-minute drill yesterday. Bruce Gradkowski was in, our QB guru, 11-year NFL veteran. 11 years.
Oh, yeah. He fooled him for a while. You know what I mean?
And he was in there, and, he was like, Aaron Rodgers, the playoffs, that's when he's going to come back. Everyone is under this impression, but Aaron Rodgers might just not be that good anymore.
I think it's going to be this Seattle receiving core is going to be crucial. DK Metcalf was dominant when they threw to him last week behind the defense. That vertical threat, Tyler Lockett, Moore. I mean, those guys, they have to come through in this one because I think Russell's going to keep them in it. And even if it is like the 2014 NFC Championship game where Russell Wilson for the first 50 out of 60 minutes of the game before they went to overtime was just horrendous, but he ends up with the game-winning throw that puts him into the Super Bowl and all that stuff. That's kind of Russell Wilson's MO is he could be great even if he is bad, you still don't feel like you're out of the game. Mm-hmm. So that's why I think it's going to be a close game. So what do you think in this one, man? Where are you going to lean in this one?
I'm going to lean Packers. I think this is the closest of the 4 games, but balance of probabilities, Green Bay.
And so I'm going to pick Green Bay too, and I really think it's because the Seahawks are just treading a really fine line. I think it's going to, even last week, they only scored 17, whatever, but it's it took Russell Wilson completing 4 deep passes for 150.
Which, as we said, might not be there this week.
It might not be there this week.
You want to get rid of me and get back to more great PFF YouTube content? All you have to do is push that button right there and subscribe. Thanks for watching.